Well, it's been a race won by all the greats. Ron Clark started at 56 years ago, and in the 56th edition here at Lakeside Stadium, it'll be Brett Robinson looking for his second title, and on debut, Patrick Tiernan, fresh off an NCAA collegiate cross-country title, will be looking to make his mark on the 25-lap event. Tim, we're underway early. Plenty to expect from this race. We have some serious contenders here, one that's won it before and one looking to make an impact on debut.
We've also got some very serious pacemakers out here. It's similar to the women's event. We've got some class pacemakers, Tom, and that's going to really set this race up for the guys. It is challenging conditions. The breeze is still blustery out there, making it hard to go for that 27.45, which is the World Championships time.
We're going to move our way through the first 1,000 metres and we'll get an indication as to how they're tracking.
So 1K through in 2:53. That's indicating somewhere in the high 28. So the pace isn't on at the moment, Tom. It's 28.50 thereabouts. So we'd expect them to actually crank down a little bit quicker than that later in the race, I'd say.
Well, they're just easing into proceedings here on the 25-lap journey of Lakeside Stadium. And what a past month it's been for Patrick Tiernan, who sits fourth on the track at the moment. Has been one of the stories back half of the year of Australian athletics. He's become only the second Australian male to take out the NCAA cross-country title, and well, the first time that was done, it was back in the 1960s, so it's been a long time between drinks, and it says something about the calibre of this young man.
That's right, because as we all know, it ain't easy to win one of those NCAAs, and he certainly had class opposition there, but he just rose to the occasion. Wasn't dominant throughout the year, but certainly when it counted at Terre Haute, he certainly came through and took the win there. Looking very comfortable too at the moment. So is Brett Robinson. He's tucked in nicely there. So those are the two leaders basically on the track, because we've got three pacemakers, McEntee, also Williams and Davies, there leading the pack.
At the front of the field, the pace is starting to be applied, and you can just see them starting to stretch out, Tim.
Yeah, look, McSweyn's one we've got to have our eye on too. He's one of the tallest characters out there, which is a bit surprising. Back in the days of his junior cross-country days, he was always one of the shortest. But Stewie, gone through that growth spurt, he's holding it well. His speed this year has just been awesome. The win in a Launceston was sensational, 28.44. He is a legitimate contender tonight, and let's see how Stewart McSweyn goes.
Of course, the steeple had been his events in recent years on the track, and on 10,000 metres tonight is his first real crack at it on the big stage. And I'll move through now, 18 laps to go, and it's McEntee still driving the pace with Williams and Davies. Tiernan is the best placed of the known runners that'll be looking to work their way through the full 25 laps. They're all hanging together. There may be just a slight crack starting to form at the back of that lead group.
Yeah, but the pace it's still improving here. They're moving down below the 28.30 mark. So this is a good sign that the pacemakers have really cracked it out the last couple of laps, and they are starting to string them out. You can see even Mitch Brown is starting to feel the effects there as he starts to go off the lead pack.
So it's Williams that's doing the pace making at the front of the field now, and we mentioned a couple of the names in that front group, McSweyn and Robinson. Tiernan, of course, coming back from the US, but some recent battles on the road between the likes of Robinson and McSweyn. Robinson has been red hot on the road since he's got back from Rio. He's had wins, the Melbourne Marathon half, the Burnie 10K, City to Bay in Adelaide, the Noosa Bolt over 5,000 metres, but going head to head with him in those events, well, it was Stewart McSweyn. He was second in Noosa, third in Burnie. I think Chris Hamer, who's just in that group as well, was fourth to him in the Burnie 10. So there's been some recent battles over the distance on the road between these men. Robinson's had the better of them, but McSweyn, like he has in recent weeks, hasn't given him an inch. So back on the track now, 14 laps to go on the Zatopek. Jordan Williams has just slotted in behind Jack Davies in the pacing responsibilities. We've got four the main contenders in that lead group: Tiernan, Robinson, Schrader and McSweyn, and they're the four that we've earmarked to be at the pointy end of this race, and they're not letting us down at this stage, Tim.
No, and they're on 28.20 pace at the 4K mark, right on that mark. So as we've seen, they are picking up the pace, and I think now we're going to see the continuation of that around that 28.20 mark. and it will be then the kick down finish. Can we see a fairly good time run tonight in fairly rough conditions? So hopefully the crowd up on the top end are doing their stuff. Get behind these guys. Still 14 laps to go, coming into 13 now. They need your help. So Jack Davies, he's now taken the grind work out there, leading Tiernan, Robinson, a little bit of a gap then, McSweyn, also Schrader, gap then to Hamer. All right, back to the 10,000 metre action. Halfway point was reached, 14.07. So that's got them on target, 28.14 thereabouts. So we're looking at a reasonably fast Zatopek time tonight, Tom. In these conditions, we're relatively surprised at that. But this pace group, obviously the paces are now out, but Tiernan, Robinson, and also McSweyn, Schrader now dropping away.
Well, we hope for the sake of the pace that we keep these three athletes together for as long as we can, because they seem to be really driving each other, and they have done with the assistance of the pacemakers of the first half of the event. And Tiernan just looks so strong at this stage, but Robinson you don't want to be leaving behind you for too long, because we know how fast he is over the finish. And Stewart McSweyn, well, he's a bit of an unknown quantity, but young and exuberant, we're not wanting to leave anything out on the track. So it's Tiernan, Robinson and McSweyn, three different races, and there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to win a Zatopek, and we're going to find out over the next 10 laps how we go about doing it, Tim.
That's right, Tom. They're all bringing different attributes. Tiernan's not used to the 10K track, but he's done 10K cross-country over and over and over again in the States. That's tough running. That's strength running. Tonight is all about strength. And can he just keep that going, keep, lapping at this pace they need to do? Robertson's hanging on. He's an Olympic finalist. He is class. So you don't want him on your shoulder with 1 lap to go.
Just a little bit of a gap starting to form to McSweyn. There's a couple of metres, and we can see how quickly that might expand. So McSweyn will be wanting to lap back onto Robinson, but Tiernan and Robinson are driving the pace at the front. And our final national record holder to acknowledge here this evening is Kirsten Bull, who set the Australian 100-kilometre record in November this year. As we head back to the track, Tim, and things are starting to get interesting.
They certainly are. We're seeing some big moves here. Tiernan, he's ahead. We're facing 6 laps to go now. We'll just get a check on pace soon. The last last kilometre was another 2:46. They've locked onto that 46-47 mark, and he's continuing to go. Brett Robinson's now 30 metres behind, and about another 30 to 35 metres back to Stewie McSweyn.
And we talked before there's many ways to win a Zatopek, and we think Patrick Tiernan will want to do it from a way out. He won't want to have Brett Robinson anywhere near him, knowing the closing speed that the man from Ballarat has. And indeed, Stewart McSweyn, well, he's got a little bit of work to do, but it's Tiernan it's been impressive, and he's inside 6 laps to go, and he's got a clean pair of heels on the whole field.
He certainly has, and you can see the wind rustling through that Villanova singlet of his, but he is still looking very strong down the back straight. Now, one interesting thing tonight too, Patrick Tiernan is chasing the Villanova 6-mile record. So we're going to have timekeepers on the 6-mile mark tonight for Tiernan. Villanova would love for him to get that mark, and this is his big chance tonight. So,
and we're 4 laps to go now. He's well clear. Robinson just checks his watch as he moves through.
And I think McSweyn's going to make the move on Robinson very, very soon too. We see Stewie McSweyn take the 2nd position ahead of his training partner Robinson, as we see Tiernan just looking better and better, Tom. This is awesome.
He keeps going from strength to strength, and the man in the white top from Villanova will enter the tunnel of sound, and round the bend, the distance running fraternity will no doubt be embracing strength.
Okay, and you can see our timekeepers are at that 6-mile mark. They're getting ready to take this. I don't know what time he's after. We'll try and get that information a little bit later, but we will get our statistician onto this time approximately. 1 lap to go. Let's see what he goes through that 6-mile in. It is 27.02 approximately. So we'll check that one in, but Tommy, call him home.
So Patrick Tiernan into the back straight, 300 metres between him and a national title on debut over 25 laps the man who took all before him over in the United States, representing Villanova.
Stuart McSweyn, 1 lap to go.
So it's Tiernan, 200 metres left to go, rounding the bend through the tunnel of sound here at Lakeside Stadium. The white top stands alone in front of the field, and he'll enter the home straight to the sweet sounds of the Melbourne crowd at the Zatopek 10 for 2016. Patrick Tiernan will add his names to the greats, to the list of Clark and Monaghetti, to Mottram and co. Patrick Tiernan is going to go down and take the win, and he'll do it with a 27 in front of the numbers.
Stuart McSweyn's coming through. Great run here. This would have won many Zatopeks. He's going to come in just on the 28.30.
See Chris Hamer work his way up the home straight now, and I think that we'll see him into a bronze medal at the Zatopek. He's gone past Brett Robinson, so Chris Hamer, a well-deserved national medal. Brett Robinson will move home into 4th place ahead of Mitchell Brown, not the night he might have hoped for.
25 laps, did it challenge you a little bit more than you thought it would tonight?
Oh, I knew it was going to be hard, and it lived up to expectations. You know, that last 3K was pretty tough out there. But no, I'm glad to get one under my belt now and look to move forward in it.
So obviously the qualifying time will be the goal now in the new year. Will you go back to the States to chase that time?
Yeah, so I'll probably go back to the States to train with my coach there for a little bit. But yeah, we'll see, hopefully set up a race somewhere where I can get it. We'll see what we can do. Mate, this is great. This was, I was coming into this assuming this would be the toughest race of my life, and it definitely lived up to it. These boys pushed me the whole way.